Ah, see, can I change it here? Uh, Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope all of you are doing fantastic this beautiful Tuesday morning. It is February 3rd already. We've got a month under our belt in 2026. And here we are on Tuesday, February 3rd. Guys, I'm going to go over a couple of the worst case scenarios that I see being played out. Going to show you a couple other people's opinions. And, we're also going to take a look at some of the positivity, because even though what I'm seeing and hearing is not what I would love to be talking about, it is important to be prepared. I think on this show, in the last year and a half, I don't believe you guys have ever seen me actually put a short on anything. And I don't know if today's going to be that day or not either, but in paying attention to what's going on and then really looking at some other influencers that I respect, I'm definitely a little bit cautious and think that there's definitely some possibility that we could be going into some more pain. Good morning, Dave. Hope you are doing great. All of you that are watching, good morning. Please say hello or say something in the chat. I love to hear from you guys. I apologize. I woke up to a tiny bit of a sniffly nose. I was hoping I could get rid of this thing before we hit the live stream, but it looks like it's going to persist a little bit. So the first thing I wanted to show you is I really like Crypto Jeb. I don't know if you guys know this young man. He's a pretty sharp young man. He's been YouTubing since he was a teenager. I think this guy got into Bitcoin when he was 14, 15 years old. He's still in his just young 20s, but he's had a pretty incredible ride in crypto. From what I can see, he's financially independent, has a decent chunk of money built up over the years. Says Bitcoiner since $2,900. So it's definitely a guy that I've been listening to a while. And just, if you go back and look at some of his tweets, like here where it says, when Bitcoin blows past all-time high and rockets towards 250,000 in 12 to 30 months. Well, that's a pretty broad statement there. 12 to 30 months is, there's a huge difference between 12 months and 30 months. We're talking about, a year versus almost 3 years, 2.5 years. I wanted to scroll down and find, like this was 22 hours. It says Bitcoin has lost the 100 weekly EMA. This provides ultimate support during the dead cat bounce. Tried to buy the dip at 76,000. Where are some of the tweets that I trying to find? So, right here, this was on February 1st. Bitcoin must hold 74K. And man, yesterday when I was scrolling through my feed, I saw 2 or 3 tweets here from Crypto Jeb that I really like. So here we go. Maybe this is the one that I was kind of, curious about. It says, we will revisit the bottom of the quantile model at or near 55 to 60K for the bottom of this bear market. As I've said, we're closer to the end of this bear market in price than the top, but the bottom in time may still be months away. Survive and buy the dip. And so if we go then all the way back up here to the top post that he just made. When did he make this post here? It said, this is on February 1st also. Calling it now. Bitcoin bear market bottom at or near 58,000. So we're at 78. So what is, 20% of 80 is 16. 80 minus 16 is only 64, right? So to get down to 58, we're looking at somewhere in the ballpark of about a 25 to 30% retraction, even from this point, to get all the way down to 58,000 and change. And that would definitely seem like a reasonable type of low to me. I think we could potentially even go slightly lower. We were talking about, at 70, at a 75% retracement from the peak, we'd be looking at more like $35,000 Bitcoin, but 58,000. I wish that he was saying that this was going to happen. I wish that he was saying that this was going to happen soon. Like, I'm ready for it to just be over. Unfortunately, when we start having these downward trends, it can take, as he said in one of the lower posts, it could take months. It could take months for this to actually play out. But as it does, we're going to, so we're not going to drop from 78 all the way down to 58 overnight, unfortunately. Like, I kind of wish that we would just get it over with, but if this plays out, we could definitely benefit from it, but we're only going to benefit from it if we are ready for it to happen. Sam Price, Crypto Lifer, said, good chance you hit this, and it does not even matter. You and I will buy the lows no matter what, God willing. So, and then Crypto replied to Crypto Lifer, Crypto Jeb replied, been buying on the way down. Most of my pocket change is for sub 65K. So some of these big players are saving their big money. They're buying some Bitcoin right now, but they're saving their big money for if this thing drops down below $65,000. That's when they're really looking at, like, they will feel like they're getting a absolute fire sale on Bitcoin. So what does all that mean? It means nothing in a way. It does and it doesn't. But, the thing that I'm looking at is, here we woke up to $76,000 Bitcoin. Yesterday we looked like maybe we're starting to come out of the channel. Not in the mood to see this Wi-Fi anymore. We looked like maybe we were going to come out of the channel. If we look at the 24-hour range, we were all the way up over 79,000. I was starting to have a little bit of optimism that maybe we wouldn't continue this downward trend, but now we're back to 76. And this chart here doesn't do it justice. But I think here, if we look at, say, the 1 month chart, this one's kind of hard too. This is not the best place. But here, even on the 7-day chart, you can kind of see that we're trending lower. Then we hit, like, here we got a little spike, and then we go lower, then we go up a little bit, and then we go lower. And then we really had a decent dip here, but then we went up a little bit, then lower, then up, and then lower. And it kind of feels like we're making lower lows. And it feels like we might be headed down to, somewhere around 71K for Bitcoin in the not too distant future. It could surprise us and bounce back up. But, man, overall, I mean, here on BYDFi, I just saw, it just dipped down under 75. I mentioned this yesterday. All of my trades got liquidated, including my Polkadot trade, which I actually had a backup on. So that was my Polkadot trade. Unfortunately, I thought I was getting in, at a great spot here when I got in at about $1.78, and then I put in a decent sized little ladder trade in at $1.63, and it got liquidated at $1.55. So it went from $1.80 basically all the way down to $1.55 in just a matter of days. My Atom trade, which I got into the Atom trade all the way down at at around $2, that got liquidated. The only thing that I have in play is this Avalanche trade, and it's kind of a weird one. You see here the margin I've got about $240 in this Avalanche trade, and right now it's saying that it's underwater $263. That's because I have about $500 in USDT sitting over here that is propping it up. This liquidation price on this is all the way down at $3.98. So I don't really have to worry about this getting liquidated, but it kind of is holding this $500 in capital hostage. If I were to try to remove this $500 and use it for something else, the liquidation would jump from 398 all the way up to where it might get liquidated. I don't know exactly for sure, but I started off this conversation saying this might be the first time. Oh, come on, cats. This might be the first time that you watch me, do some shorting, but man, it's just really hard for me. It's hard to want to short when I go over here to CoinGecko and I look at some of this. How in the world, Solana's all the way back to 100. I mean, I guess during the last bear market when FTX collapsed and all of that, Celsius and all of that happened, it went all the way down to $7, $8, $9, $10. But $100 seems like a relatively low spot. But especially when we get into some of the other coins like Chainlink, $9.46. Yeah, does it have some room to go down? Absolutely. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around trying to short this stuff. I mean, this is crazy. Like HBAR. HBAR was a token that we were trading a year ago at 25 cents and excited to get in on it when it was that low, and now it's sitting at 8.9 cents. Do I want to short HBAR and hope and be betting that it's going to go even lower? Once again, that's a little hard for me to do. Uniswap is down even lower than yesterday, $3.86. And so while I don't try to give financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not, I don't have any licenses. I've never taken any security training or anything like that. My advice to you guys, really, stay away from trading. Like, it's done nothing but cause me misery really for the whole year and a half. Like, I created this Tuesday channel to appeal to a second set of viewers and to help boost up the channel's numbers. It helped a little bit with some sponsorships and stuff, but man, I don't have the exact numbers because I've traded on multiple different exchanges and I haven't kept a spreadsheet. But I gotta guess that probably in the last year and a half, I'm probably down at least $5,000, maybe $10,000 from trading, because we never, ever, ever caught any type of a significant upswing. Like, we just kept trying to catch the bottom, and the bottom just never came in. And so I would say, if you want to be safe, go take a token like, Polygon here at 11 cents and just buy some. Same thing. We got Polkadot was number 47 yesterday. So let's see if it's still in here. I didn't even notice Polkadot as we were scrolling by. Yeah, Polkadot, $1.50. I think it's hard to beat Polkadot at $1.50, especially if you got it staked on, I've got my Polkadot staked on Coinbase getting 7 or 8%. Same thing with the Atom token. Atom token is way down there. I don't know exactly where it is. Here we go. Cosmos, it's, $1.96. I love the idea of buying Atom, staking it on Coinbase for a 15% return in Atom. At 15%, you're going to roughly double the amount of Atom that you have in 5 years. And on top of that, if it doubles or triples or quadruples in price, which is not that big of a deal for it to go from $2 back up to $5, $6, $7, $8, it's turned into, a multiple. If you double your Atom from 100 to 200, and then it goes from $2 to $8, well, you just turned, if you bought 100 Atom for $2 a piece, you're in at $2 or $200. If it doubles over the next 5 years to 200 Atom and it goes up to $8, you're at $1,600. So you're at an 8x between the interest and the price appreciation. So I would say that for most people, one of the smartest things you could do right now in this particular market is just be buying up the tokens that you are the most excited about. I mean, VeChain here at 0.008 seems like a lovely little dollar cost average, but I just cannot. So Tim says MM Crypto. I don't know that I'm familiar with MM Crypto. Believes the bottom will be anywhere from 57K to 65K. That is very interesting, and it sounds like that's where a lot of people believe we're going to end up. It'll be interesting to see if they're right, because let's face it, guys. Back in 2021, everybody thought Bitcoin was going to 100,000, and it stalled out and it peaked at 68. So sometimes I get a little nervous when everybody starts to agree on something, and it's starting to feel like everybody is agreeing that we're going to end up at somewhere around 55 to 65K Bitcoin. And I just wonder, if the elite, if the powers that be, are gonna scoop up as much as they can and then send it up higher while people are waiting. If there's a lot of people waiting for it to get down to 55, 65 before they start buying, is there some possibility that they won't let it get down there? I think there's some possibility of that. It's really, let's face it, nobody really knows. On that note, Tim, I want to give you a big shout out. Tim just jumped into the other platform that I was talking about yesterday on here. I'm not going to go over all of the details live on the YouTube channel. This is more of a share one-on-one type of a platform. But seriously, guys, if you're looking for an opportunity to increase your bags and increase the money that you have to invest, I believe that I've got an incredible opportunity that I would definitely love to share some information with you about privately. The platform made about 9% last month. It's had multiple 12 to 15% months, and then it's had some 22 all the way up to as much as 40% months. And they're basically doing the trading for us, and then it's a profit share. They take a portion of the trading profits, you get a portion of the trading profits. I've done a ton of due diligence. I've been talking with the owners and the main players of the platform, and I am super, super excited. I've already shared it and helped about 15 people get started, Tim being one of them. And, this Friday will be the first full week that our funds have been trading, and we'll see what our profits are. And on Friday, we'll take our total profits. We'll do the split. We can withdraw our money off of the platform 100% of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no lockup periods and so on and so forth. I'm super, super excited about it. And if we were in a bull market, I would still be totally thrilled about this, because the algorithm, the AI trading is taking advantage of the crypto markets, whether they go up and down. I will say that they're trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. So they're trading, top tokens. And what I love about this platform is that we can make money whether the market is going up or down. And that, especially, like I said, I would be super excited about it if the market was going up. But I'm almost more excited about it because if Bitcoin does decide to go from 76 down to 55, 60, all of us are just going to lose a lot of money unless we're leverage trading, which I'm not really prepared to put a bunch of money into short. You out of here, son? Love you, buddy. Have a great day. I don't want to try to short the market yet. I talked about this on the channel, and I'm a little frustrated because I mentioned that we were going to make more money on the way down than we were going to make on the way up. And man, the trouble with that is how do we know on the way down. Like if I'd had any idea, we were sitting at what was it, 93,000 a couple of months ago, month and a half ago. We had somebody on the show. I don't remember his name. He's not here today. At least he's not saying anything. But we had somebody on the show that totally disagreed with my thesis that we were going to start going back up and that we were going to have some blue skies between now and March. And, and then like the following week, Bitcoin was up at like 98,000. And I even said something like, I'm glad that we weren't shorting the market. And then boom, like ever since, I wish we were shorting the market. So when we got down to 198,000, if we would have started shorting, it would have been some ups and downs and some back and forth. But if we'd have had shorts in with ladders, we'd all be in pretty good shape right now. And it's just like, it's really hard for me to totally flip bearish and to totally say, hey, it's over. We're not going to see any good pumps. We're not going to see an altcoin season. We just talked about it yesterday. I don't know if Eric is on here at all today, but Eric asked me a question. I still somewhat optimistic that we were going to see some retracement to the upside and going to enjoy some decent moves, hopefully, in altcoins, because it's just hard for me to believe that we're not bottomed out. Like, how can Polkadot go any lower than $1.50? But, in my 8, 9, 10 years in this industry, I've found that every time I thought it couldn't go lower, it has. Like it has every single time. It's just amazing to me how bad these crypto markets can be. Obviously, they are very good sometimes too, but it's been a rough bull market / bear market, if we are in a bear market, to make any money in. The only people that really made any money in the last couple of years were people that did nothing but buy Bitcoin. So this platform that Tim and I are working with and multiple others, in my opinion, is a great way to start creating some upside, whether the market's down or up. I'm planning on taking the profits that my weekly trading dollars are making and putting those into Bitcoin, dollar cost averaging into Polkadot, using that money to dollar cost average into the tokens that I want to hold long term. So once again, Dave P. or anybody else that is listening to me today, just reach out to me on Telegram, text message if you have my phone number, Discord, Twitter. Reach out to me anywhere, and I will get some personal information to you about this platform that we are using. You are very, very welcome, Tim. It's been exciting. Been exciting couple of weeks, and I think that as time goes by, we're going to be very, very grateful to the person that shared this with me originally. So, on that note, guys, I told my wife that it was probably going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. I don't have a whole lot to say other than what I've said. Hopefully, you got a little bit of value out of what I said, but once again, it's up to your timing, your risk tolerance, and you got to decide what you think. You got to decide, hey, are we going from 76 down to 65, 55? If so, do with that what you will. Wait till we get down to those numbers and buy tokens, dollar cost average right now. Place some shorts. I mean, placing some shorts, probably not a horrible idea. I don't know that I can wrap my mind around rooting for the market to go down. It just goes against everything that I stand for. I want so badly for us to create some financial freedom in our lives by having the cryptocurrency market do what it's supposed to do, which is go up and go up violently, and have some of these altcoins go up violently. And man, we're talking over a year now, December, October, November of 2024 into December was kind of the peak of everything. And even then, nothing ran high enough to where I didn't take $1 a profit when Polkadot was up at, 9, 10, 11 bucks. That wasn't anywhere near what I was expecting. Polkadot was a $50 token in the last bull market. Same thing with Atom. Atom was over $50 or $44 to $54, somewhere in there during the last bull market, and so on and so forth. I mean, VeChain was a 30-cent token during the last bull market, it never got above 3 or 4 cents. This, in the last couple of years. So I definitely didn't take any profits, never thought that anything was anywhere near worthy of taking profits. And so uh, I haven't made any actual money in crypto, like from buying a crypto and having it go up in a while. But luckily, most of my positions, I still hold them. I'm earning the interest on Atom. I'm earning the interest on Polkadot. I'm earning the VTHO on my V chain. Got it in a decentralized wallet where I'm earning, the VTHO, and we just take our licks and we keep on getting up and we keep on moving forward. We keep on figuring out new ways to, increase our income. We've got our Texit Coin miners. Texit Coin has jumped up 40-50% in the last few days after having a pretty rough time of it. And I think it's going to continue to move back up. And, we've got our miners that are just dripping those tokens in every single day. And at some point in time, when that project really takes off, we're going to be very, very happy that we've got our miners. So we've got our Texas Coin miners. We've got this new platform that's making us money. And, we just keep on singing our song, plugging along. And eventually we're going to have a crypto summer that, gives us some life-changing money. So with that, Dave and Tim, thank you for being here. Thank you to all of the rest of you too that are watching in silence, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you all again very soon. God bless. Bye-bye for now.